The tragedy of partition compelled his parents to move to India, where they lived in Kakroli Rajsamand in Rajasthan. Moral books of poetry and short story. While he was the elected head of the village, he tried marriage, child labor, and other evils. Miss Kriti Bharat. He is an Indian Ayurvedic physician and was professor at Prince. He is a renowned acharya. Presently, the profile of Miss Anuaga, the recipient of Pannadhai Award. She is being honored for service of permanent value rendered to an unassuming man, a simple man. The Maharana Uday Singh awardee, Mr. Jadav Mulay
की शिक्षा प्राप्त की और उसके बाद उन्होंने कानून में स्नातकोत्तर हेतु न्यूयॉर्क विश्वविद्यालय का रुख किया और वर्तमान में आप एक सफल अधिवक्ता के साथ ही दिल्ली के नेहरू स्मारक संग्रहालय और
this year the recipient is Mr. Piyush Pal, industry to leave behind a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. Mr. John Smith, a graduate of Cambridge, pursued a scholarly career in both London and Cambridge.
From illiteracy, from ill health. 42% of Indians are malnourished, which is the highest in the world. Only 10% of students complete their school leaving examination. In India, it depends where you are born. If you are born in a privileged family, your life is made. But for the majority with poor education that is doled out, education, excellent education, so that where he or she was born doesn't.
Shriji and his family for conferring this honor. The humility also because as we hear about the people who are here, I think they're both an inspiration and they set a very, very high benchmark of where we are to go. I believe that this is a recognition for all of us who endeavor in the field of human rights. अभी हमें आज़ादी की बात अनु जी ने याद दिलाई. हमारे संविधान में मुझे लगता है अब वो समय आया है जब वो वादे को पूरा करने की इच्छा इस देश के हर इंसान, हर नागरिक में है. आज
who won earlier today, remember, this is only one milestone. There's a life ahead of you. Keep going strong all the time. Thank you very much.
First, I must start by thanking the Foundation for honouring me with this magnificent award. An award named after Colonel James Todd, a man who knew what we now call Rajasthan intimately and loved it dearly. I'm humbled to find myself in this company and encouraged to find myself in the company of the students who have done so well. 200 years after Annals and Antiquities of Rajasthan, the great work by Colonel James Todd, a lot has changed in India and in this state. A lot, but not everything. Todd wrote of the hero Pabuji, whose exploits are the theme of the itinerant bard and showman, who annually goes his round, exhibiting in pictorial delineations, while he recites in rhyme the deeds of this warrior to the gossiping villagers of the desert. They had a slightly different style of writing 200 years ago. They still do it today. They still make their rounds and they still perform in the traditional way. Surely one of Rajasthan's most precious inheritances is its folklore. Even by the rich standards set by Indian folklore in general, the wealth and complexity of the traditions found here is astonishing. How often I've been captivated by hearing wedding songs sung by women, or group singing by Langa or Manganiar men, or by watching a puppet show or seeing a Ghumar dance. But it still seems to me that this Babuji tradition is one of the richest of them all. A stirring narrative, a plaintive fiddle being played, singing, dancing, chanting, and at the center an enormous painted cloth swaying gently in the breeze. All of this taking place at night in some remote village or out in the fields where Rebari herdsmen live and have stopped for one night with their animals. For a young Englishman, and I was young in the 1970s, this was a magical experience, and it led to a book which I'm still extremely proud of. But a word of warning. Folklore may be captivating, fascinating and beautiful, but one must not be too romantic. The life lived by people like the itinerant performers is generally a wretched one. Their only home is often the tent they carry around with them. Their children receive little or no schooling. Money and sometimes food are short. And despite the great progress that has been made in so many fields in independent India, a profound social stigma still attaches to such people. They are poor, and they are of very low caste. So many well-educated but actually ignorant people assume that what they do is not worth bothering with, whereas in fact they are carriers of a great, highly sophisticated tradition which